Ravi's asked me to speak on this theme, won't Christianity ruin my freedom? So I come at it unashamedly from a Christian minister's point of view. But I've got three statements, three theses for you, which I'm hoping we might all agree on, and that will sort of get the discussion going, and we can talk about the Christian point of view after that. So three theses, and I'm interested to know whether you can agree with all of them, if we get a full house. First statement, first thesis, we all love freedom. We all love freedom. I think it's probably the main thing in the West that unites all the political parties, no matter how deeply divided your point of view. We all stand for freedom, we all love that. On a small scale, someone was just telling me they handed in a lab report just now. What a feeling. When you hand in a piece of work, you put it in the box or you press send on the email. Brilliant. It reaches a climax, I think, at the end of the year, doesn't it? When you put your pen down, your final exam is over. However it's gone, you are free. You can walk out of the exam hall and the weight just lifts off your shoulders. Love that feeling. If you passed your driving test, you know that feeling when you pass and you sit in a car for the first time with no one in the passenger seat? I'm free. I'm driving this car all by myself. No constraints on me anymore, apart from the legal ones. Freedom to make your own decisions. I am now free. I can stay up late if I want to. I can watch 5 episodes in a row of whatever I want to, and that's okay. In order to go family, I can't. I'm free to eat a whole tub of ice cream while I do it if I want to. That's a glorious freedom. In my house, I have a favourite phrase. I'm a grown-up and I can do what I want. And I usually use it when my wife spots, like she did the other day, that I'm eating 2 puddings in an evening. And as I was polishing off the second pudding this week, she just observed what I was doing. I said, I'm a grown-up, I can do what I want. And I'm determined to enjoy that while I can. We all love freedom. I think, most of you are smiling, I think we probably all agree on thesis number 1. We do all love freedom. It is one of the foundations of Western society. I love going to the electoral booth at a general election, being able to put a cross in the box if whoever I want. I love being able to have free speech, and the secret police aren't out to get me. We love freedom in the West. It's a good thing. Just as a historical observation, a historical aside, I think we have got to a stage where freedom is almost the best thing we hold dear. It's like our favourite child. Of all the things, all the virtues in the West, freedom is basically our best one. There's been a study done at the University of Berkeley in California where they kind of looked into this, and it does seem that for Americans at least, freedom is our favourite virtue. Older societies were built on commonly held restrictions, so we think of the Victorian era as quite a restrictive age where people agreed on what was appropriate behaviour and what wasn't. There were boundaries that everyone ought not to cross, and you were frowned upon if you did. That seems to have been based on an old-fashioned sense of divine law. So God gave people rules in the medieval period and beyond, and if you transgress, if you cross those boundaries, then not good at all. In the 20th century, we got rather burned in the West because we had dictatorial governments in Germany and Russia, and we thought that would lead to more efficient social organisation and progress, but it was a catastrophe. And what we discovered was if you give freedom to a dictator, it bounces back on you. And so what I think you can probably observe, if you agree with me, is that the pendulum swung back massively after Germany and Russia and those empires fell. And what we prize now is freedom. We all love freedom, and I think it's because of our recent history. We don't want a dictator in government anymore. What we want is liberal democracy and the ability to choose. So when we've got a big question to decide, like Brexit, what do? We all go to the electoral booth and we exercise our glorious democratic freedom. We put an X in the box, and whichever side has the most votes wins. And that's a good thing. We love freedom and we use it. All of which is surely spoiled, I hear you thinking, by old-fashioned Christianity and any notion of divine law, with its rules and its 10 commandments and its rigidity. We all love freedom, so why would you let the church spoil it? Oh, good question. But that's the first thesis for now. We all love freedom. Second thesis, we all limit our freedom. I came across a book by Bear Grylls in the library recently, not in the Imperial College library, I should say. I'm not sure they stopped that. But Bear Grylls, the famous survivalist, and He is famous in England and America, I understand. He's written this book, A Guide for Life, where he tells you how to grow in character and in integrity. And he's got a chapter called Dreams Require Sacrifice. And he says this: the simple truth of life is that to get the things you really want, you will have to give up something else that you hold dear, whether it's your easy life, your evening bar sessions, your comfort food, or your time. So you've got to give up something you hold dear in order to get something that you value more. And he goes on to talk about when he was living in a student household, that he decided he wanted to apply for the SAS. So it's a notoriously difficult military branch of the British Army. And he talks about realising, all right, if I want this SAS lifestyle, I'm going to have to limit my student household lifestyle. Whether my housemates are students and they enjoy late night curries and beers and wine and staying up late in lines. I've got to put a limit on that if I want that. The dreams require sacrifice, he says. I'll take a different example. Imagine a 60-year-old man who enjoys really two things in life: eating whatever he wants and time with his grandchildren. One day he goes to the doctor for his annual medical, and the doctor says, I'm afraid it's bad news. If you keep eating whatever you want, if you continue to indulge in all these fatty foods that you seem to so enjoy, you're going to have a heart attack as a ticking time bomb. What do you do if you're the man? I think for the sake of your time with your grandchildren, for the years that you could have with them that lie ahead of you, you cut out the food, you go on the diet that the doctor prescribes. You limit one freedom in terms of your diet, but have another glorious freedom with your grandchildren. See, so we all limit our freedom in that way. Let me give you one more example, which is perhaps closer to home. Education. If you want an education and the good income and the prestige that comes from it, there are a number of limitations which we're accustomed to putting on ourselves, aren't there? If you said yes to every impulse to procrastinate on the internet, to stay up late or lie in for hours and hours and not go to any lectures, I don't think you'd end up with a degree, would you? I mean, we all say yes to those things to some degree, but ultimately you're not going to get to the end goal if you say yes to every impulse to do those things. You have to limit your freedom in order to gain something better. Which means then, I think, if we all limit our freedom, the question becomes, which freedom is more important? Isn't it? If we're talking about limiting this freedom in order to get that freedom, well, I've made a judgment between the two. What thing do I want? What's more important? Do I want time with my grandchildren, or do I want the fatty food? Do I want the education or the life? That's my second thesis for you. I think we all limit our freedom naturally because we have goals in life and things that we want. Third thesis. Freedom can't stand alone. Freedom can't stand alone. Let me try and explain what I mean. Philosophers talk about negative and positive freedom, and they're two slightly different things. They talk about negative freedom being something that is a freedom from everything. So negative freedom is I throw off all my boundaries and constraints. I don't want to be straitjacketed by anyone. No one tells me what to do. I'm free from everything. And then they talk about positive freedom, which is freedom for something. I want to be free in order to live in a particular way, in order to pursue something, whatever it might be. So negative and positive freedom. I think Western culture's idea of freedom is entirely negative. So we don't want anyone to tell us what to do. We want a postmodern ideal where we make up our own minds and our own value judgments. It's epitomised by Queen Elsa striding up the mountain. You know, I don't want these royal responsibilities. I'm going to throw off the royal cloak and the gloves. Nobody tells me what to do anymore, and I live in a palace on a hill. Of course, it's interesting if you have seen Frozen and you're in the glorious 60%. You know the plot? She doesn't finish up in the ice palace. She ends up back down in what's the city called? Arendelle. Thank you to the anonymous person who knew the answer. She ends up back down in Arendelle with her royal responsibilities in a relationship with her sister in a community. She invites constraint back upon herself because she realises that negative freedom from all of those constraints, isn't actually what she wanted after all. Hi guys, come on in. Come on and see. Or, let's take another example. romance. Let's imagine you come to university and you suddenly realise, I mean, the romantic horizons are boundless here. I can pursue anybody I want, as long as I can woo them. Does anyone use that word anymore? As long as I can woo them, I have the romantic possibilities with anybody here. I can have as much sex, as much romance, as much fun with other people as I want. Why would you ever limit that freedom? I mean, that's what a thing to enjoy. I can think of one good reason. What if you met someone amazing? And what if you met the person who just captured your heart, and suddenly you weren't interested in all the boundless romance and sex that you could have had before because you want to limit those freedoms in order to have this person? I'm only interested in you now. So freedom can't stand alone. There's freedom from something, but I can't just live on a hill with nothing. I actually need a purpose in life, and romance gives us a purpose. I have a purpose to pursue somebody. Now we get to Christianity. Okay, we've talked about these three theses. Tried to argue that freedom can't stand alone. In Christianity, the Christian ruins, in inverted commas, their freedom to gain the romance of a relationship with an infinite God. So I know you might be sceptical, but just allow this for me for a moment. If there is an infinite creator God who made the world, who is everything, powerful, wise and good, the Christian limits their freedom, they ruin their freedom, if you will, by saying no to other things in order to pursue a greater good, something more glorious than the other things. Speaking for me personally, I became a Christian at age 17. There were all sorts of things I was interested in before. I enjoyed rugby, had a girlfriend, I wanted to be rich, and here I am as a Christian minister. But to have found a romance, if I can put it that way, with an infinite creator God is a better thing for me. But it's a positive freedom, you see. It's an opportunity to live for something. So, the question was, will Christianity ruin my freedom? I think rather surprisingly, I want to say yes. Yes, it will. It will ruin it. Just like everything else in the world that you might pursue. There's negative freedom to pursue anything, sure, it will ruin it. The question is, do you want it to ruin your freedom? Because is it worth it? Is it good enough? Just as I close, 2 reasons why I think it is good enough, is worth ruining your freedom for. First reason. If, hypothetically, there is a God who made the world, again, just allow me that for a moment. If there is, then he knows you, doesn't he? He knows me, he knows you, he made us, he's the creator. He knows, therefore, your potential, what makes you flourish, what drags you down as a person, all your highs and your lows and your opportunities as a human being. He knows, therefore, how to get the best out of you. And I would think that possibility, that hint alone would be enough just to get me to open the Bible and just investigate. What are these God's constraints like? What did he offer? It's just enough to provoke me to think, okay, well, if it's a matter of human potential and flourishing, then I'm interested. I'll investigate. Second reason why I think it's worth pursuing is that at Jesus' crucifixion, what I would argue is the turning point in all of history. This God, this Christian God, was nailed to a beam of wood. He had nails pressed through his hands into a plank for hours and hours. He suffocated. He was immobile. I mean, how's that for ruining your freedom for somebody else? How's that for being committed to community, to relationship, and to loving someone else? As far as I know, to the best of my knowledge, Christianity is the only religion whose God does that, whose God limits his freedom for the sake of other people. And I would have thought that the sniff of that, the possibility of that, of it being a unique thing that stands apart in the history of the world, might also be enough to get me to investigate a bit further. Just as I close, there's a verse in the Bible that I love and that sums this all up. It's from the book of Galatians, chapter 5, verse 1. It says, "It is for freedom that Christ has set us free." It it is for freedom that Christ has set us free. It says that at that moment, the turning point of all history, Jesus Christ, as he hangs him over, sacrificing his freedom, is setting other people free.